Good afternoon. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. You clicked on to the long-range weather forecast discussion for August 23rd through September 6th. For August 23rd to 27th, here we have this strong ridge approaching 600 DMs across Texas, parts of the plains, and we have a trough here over the northwest and over the northeast. Now this ridge will continue to bring unrelenting heat to portions of the four corners into the southern plains, especially Texas. And then we'll go to the surface. We'll have monsoonal flow. Do I have my maps? Okay, I have them mixed up. We have a monsoonal flow that would bring moisture into the southwest. You can see it here. And then we have high pressure in the east that bring cooler temperatures that we're experiencing right now. Now, now we're going to go to the period for August 28th to September 1st. As we go into the beginning of meteorological fall, we still have our strong ridge here over the plains, trough here, and but the flow flattens compared to what's back here. Oops, am I frozen? The maps aren't moving. Oh, well, we have to deal with it. But during this period, the trough here lifts out, still leaving a little bit of troughiness across the northeast and over the northwest. So zonal flow across the northern states. So for this forecast period, I am calling for, and it never switches the first time, below normal temperatures here with anomalies about 2 degrees below normal, above normal temperatures for much of this region here with anomalies approaching 10 degrees at least across the northern plains. And for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation for much of this region here, probability of occurrence 35%. Looking at the period for September 2nd to the 6th. I don't know why these are not. Okay, good. 2nd to the 6th. We'll do it this way. The flow remains zonal generally across the states, but you look here at the GFS, tries to bring in a trough here across the Great Lakes in the northeast. Compared to the other models, let's see, we'll go here. Oop. More zonal here, a little bit of trough remaining in the west. Still a strong ridge here across the southern plains. I feel really sorry for these people out here experiencing this heat. So for this forecast period, I am calling for above normal temperatures for much of this region here with anomalies near 8 degrees above normal, especially in the orange. And for precipitation, calling for below normal precipitation for much of this region here, probability of occurrence 35%. Now we still have this video from flooding that was experienced earlier in the week in Connecticut. We'll go to that report.
The map now to Connecticut. Heavy rain bringing dangerous flooding to many parts of that state. So many people are bracing for more of the same. You see right there the rushing waters. That storm prompted a flash flood emergency, and sadly, 2 people were swept away. Listen to one official at that particular devastating scene.
This is a tragic and devastating day for Oxford. We have this morning recovered 2 bodies in Little River. They were both women, and they're, as I understand it, they're both Oxford residents. You know, I don't think our town is used to flash floods, and you know, a lot of people did the absolute wrong thing, which was try to drive through without knowing what was on the other side. But our prayers and thoughts go out to the families.
So you want to see the power of water like he was just talking about. CBS News national correspondent Nikki Batiste is live in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. And we can see right there the water just has the power to wipe out much.
Yes, Reed, I'm actually standing in the yard of a family. The house is here. We'll pan over in a second. But what you're looking at is what was their driveway. What happened is a gush of water and debris came flying down this road there towards the bottom. There's a very small drain that essentially was overwhelmed. So they started having water gushing, and it literally looked like a waterfall all the way into their home. I'm going to walk over here a little bit. Their car was actually moved about 5 to 10 feet by the water. Kim, the homeowner, told me they were inside watching it happen. She said, frankly, afraid for their lives. Luckily, they're okay. Their house is still standing. They have several feet of water inside. And the other piece that she told me that really gives a sense of how powerful this was and how lucky they are to be alive, that their house is still standing, is that their mailbox, which was right there, is now all the way behind their house. I asked him, I said, do you have flood insurance? This isn't an area where you would typically expect this level of flooding. She said, we don't. And she said, most people around here don't have flood insurance. She said she just got off the phone with her insurance company, and they basically told her they're out of luck. Reed?
Wow. Nikki Batiste, thank you so much. Water powerful enough to pick up a car and let it float for several feet. Be safe there for us, and best thoughts to everybody affected. All right, let's bring in Zoe Mintz, who's been watching this from a meteorological standpoint.
And this is a once in a 10, 20 year kind of flood. In Connecticut, they have about a 0.1% chance of seeing this kind of rain in any given year. 0.1%. That is an extremely low number, and it's the reason that not a lot of people have that flood insurance. Unfortunately, it created lots of flooded roadways. It's likely going to take another 24 hours for the drainage system to be able to handle all of the rain that fell. And you might be wondering, was it from Ernesto? The answer is actually no. Ernesto is swirling across the East Coast, but it's not impacting them nearly as much as a stationary front that is just set up along the East Coast of the United States. And it's that stationary front that brought significant levels of rainfall. In fact, over 15 inches of rain in the past 72 hours. So let's take a closer look at some of those numbers, because it was a pretty impressive past 24 hours, because just in 24 hours, like I said, 72 hours, we picked up 15 inches. And just 24 hours, we picked up over 8 inches in some locations. Connecticut did see that emergency situation. There are other locations in New York City and New York that also saw emergency flooding situations because of how much fell. Again, this is not normal for this part of the United States. They're continuing to see that chance for excessive flooding throughout this afternoon as well. They're at a level 2 out of 5. That slight risk continues for those areas in yellow. The reason that there are flood warnings currently ongoing, those places in Connecticut and down towards New York that are still dealing with all of the rain on the ground, that rain that just has nowhere to go because the soil is so saturated. Not just rain, but we're also going to be dealing with a little bit of winds, about a 5% chance of winds gusting upwards of 40.
Okay, we're going to leave that. But I just want to give you a report on the rainfall that has occurred in that area. Around here, I didn't get that much. I got like maybe 2.5 inches, if that. So, okay, that's the long range weather forecast discussion for August 23rd through September 6th. Thanks for coming, Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.